Goran should sign with the Brooklyn Nets because they needed their home court point guard.
Yeah.
They ended up picking up Ben Simmons. Now, the rumor was that he would go to Dallas. They got Dinwiddie.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, obviously, anything that the Lakers can do to get Russell Westbrook off the court, I'm in favor of that. So, you know, the best candidate in my mind was Goran Dragic. I mean,
yeah.
much better shooter. Finals experience, can take the pressure off of LeBron, AD, run the show a little bit here and there at 35 years old. I mean, I think it's a win-win for both. The Lakers still have a championship window, and I think Goran can come in and help them out there.
Well, you know, that did not come to pass.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't turn back time. But then you still mentioned that there's a championship window there. Do you still think that exists at the moment, even with Westbrook there? I know you wanted him gone. I know you wanted him moved. But that he's still there, and the roster as constructed as it is there still a quote-unquote championship window?
I want to say yes. I want to say yes so bad, but I mean, unless Russell Westbrook learns to shoot like Diego, then I honestly don't think that.
Yeah, you know,
that they can.
Diego, pang NBA pala shooting mo eh.
Oh, I like the confidence that Coach Willy is giving me right now. But just a quick one, Coach. Still about the Lakers. Do you think, you know, that Russell Westbrook should, you know, not really finish the games? What's your comment on that?
Ending the game.
They've been doing that for a while.
I've always been about the best players finish games, and the best players are determined throughout the first 3 quarters of the game. And if Russell Westbrook through 3 quarters is shooting 1 for 10 with like 5 turnovers and 2 assists, I mean, sit him down.
All right, no, that makes complete sense. All right, now we want to move on, and I think this is very special to you in particular, Coach. Of course, Ben Simmons, the wish for him, I'll mention it right now, is that to be in a good mental space to play for Brooklyn. And a lot has been said about his mental health, his mental status, and everything that came with the baggage that is Ben Simmons. And why is it so important for you that this particular issue gets sorted out sooner rather than later?
Well, you know, as athletes, you guys are both athletes. We all know the pressure that athletes go through. In the Philippines, it may be a little different than what it is like in the NBA, because in the NBA, you're playing for a city. Now, you need to go out and walk through that city, and to know that what Ben Simmons is going through, that city didn't want him there.
Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine what he was feeling mentally, you know, emotionally. Mental health is real. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that have, you know, battled their own bouts of anxiety. So for him, I think the most important thing to work on now is his mental health before, you know, him getting out on the court. Obviously, mental health, physical health, that goes hand in hand. But I applaud him for going out there and putting it out there that he has, you know, issues with his mental health, and you know, we wish him nothing but the best.
Well, I agree with you, Coach. You know, sharing that point is actually one step ahead when it comes to mental health. But let's talk about Ben Simmons' fit here with this new team. He has a lot of shooters around him now, and he can create. It's what he does best. What can you say with that?
Well, you know, we saw what Seth Curry did earlier. He went out there and scored 20 points. I went on the record and said that this is a good fit, getting Seth Curry there. But Ben Simmons will have to change his role on that team. Obviously, with Kyrie there, a very, very dominant ball handler. I look at him as being able to fill a type of Draymond Green type of role. Now, if you look at the way the team is constructed, Durant already played with the Warriors, with Steph and Clay. He can already show Ben Simmons this is what Draymond does. You know, kind of give him a little clue onto what makes Draymond Draymond.
Yeah.
Then you have shooters there. You got Seth already. Now you got Patty Mills. Imagine the spacing with Durant off the ball. You could even throw in a big man like Claxton or Drummond at the dunker spot.
Yeah.
Give it to Ben Simmons on the short roll, have him attack,
extra pass.
Lob City,
or
kickouts. It works. It just works. But the catch there is that Ben has to buy in.
Yeah. Well, you know, some reports were actually suggesting that maybe Ben Simmons could actually play not as a guard, but maybe as a small 4 or 5, considering the system and considering the potential shooters that he can have all around him.
Agreed.
But moving on now to the other side of that trade, a lot of people have been wondering about, you know, James Harden, Joel Embiid. Will James Harden learn how to pass into the post? I think that's one of the biggest questions that's being asked. And your wish is that they make it work offensively. How do you see that working in your mind?
Okay, well, I went on the record again talking about Embiid does not roll to the basket.
Yeah.
I talked about how out of 100 pick and roll situations, Embiid only rolled to the basket 16 times. This is a similar situation to Ben Simmons where Embiid will have to buy into that screen and roll to the basket. It's not all his fault. If you look at the guards that he's played with, when they use the ball screen with Embiid, they aren't the type of guards like Harden where Harden can turn the corner. Harden can really attack off the ball screen. I think having Harden with him, if he buys into that screen and roll, will only make things easier for him when Harden uses that screen, attacks downhill to the basket, throwing lobs to Embiid. Embiid is stoppable once he gets the ball in the paint. And, I mean, it's going to be a give and take between the both of them.
Well, I agree with you, Coach. I'm sure James Harden will attract more defenses compared to the other guards of the 76ers. So I think that will open up things for Joel Embiid and their offense as well. But let's talk about the defense. You know, they have Matisse Thybulle, who can also play defense. They have Tyrese Maxey, a good point guard who also plays great defense. Joel Embiid, you know, they're a good defensive team. How do you think James will fit in here?
James will be James. You can't teach defense overnight.
Yeah.
What that will provide, though, is more, you know, more shot block opportunities for Joel.
More helping opportunities.
Joel's just going to have to become the league leader in blocks. I mean, that's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah, it'll be tough to see how he fits in defensively. Offensively, you kind of can see that. But then I think the question will be who gives more and who takes more in terms of that setup. Now moving on to the Mavericks in general. So the Mavericks gave up on that whole Doncic and Porzingis tandem, and now they had to move things around. Some people actually felt that the Mavs got very little for Porzingis, but Dinwiddie, now part of the Mavs team, you look at the whole setup here. You said that he is the answer, or you wish for him to be the answer to the playmaking woes of the Mavs. Can you put more context into that?
All right, if you look at this, on paper it looks like, you know, the Wizards got more out of, you know, getting Porzingis. But I look at it more of addition by subtraction. There was kind of a tug of war on the team on whose team is this? Is this Kristaps' team? Is this Luka's team? From the outside looking in, it's Luka's team.
Yeah.
But from the inside, you keep hearing reports about Kristaps wants the ball more. He wants a bigger role on the team. Now we don't have that issue anymore because obviously this is Luka's team moving forward. What has been the first unit? You got Luka, you got Jalen. There was no issues as far as playmaking and distributing the ball. When it comes to the second unit, that has always been their issue. You add in Dinwiddie, who, if coming off an ACL, can get back to his Brooklyn Nets form, he fixes that issue. This guy operates great off the pick and roll. He can distribute the ball off the shooters. Teams now that like to go drop coverage, that means that they have their big man dropping back into the paint.
Yeah.
He has a beautiful floater in the lane. We're going to see a lot of that.
And we're going to be excited how that's going to pan out with the Dallas Mavericks, with Luka running the show solo. So for the next one, though, for your next wish, Coach Willy, Dejounte Murray will be a dominant franchise player for the Spurs.
That's
Why
interesting.
do you wish this?
That's
he is averaging 20 points per game, 8.3 rebounds, and 9.4 assists. Plus, he plays defense too with 2 steals a game.
Oh, and last 10 games, I just add there, 22.7 points per game and 11.2 assists.
Wow.
It's insane.
I went on the record about this. The 76ers should have picked up Dejounte Murray. I said it. All right, I guess Daryl Morey got his man with regards to James Harden, but Dejounte Murray is a future star. Actually, he's a star now. He's a first-time All-Star. He's leading the league in steals. The sky is the limit for this guy. Now, what do the Spurs need to do? They just need to keep on building around him, keep on grooming him to be the man. He already leads the Spurs in career triple doubles.
Yeah.
Can you?
At this point.
At this point. So, I see nothing but great things for him moving forward.
You know, you look at Dejounte Murray, and a lot of people are wondering, are the numbers that he has right now at the moment empty calories because of their record? He's not necessarily a player who wins them games yet. Yes, he gets the numbers, but then he's not at the point where he's lifting this team into a higher level in terms of playoffs. Or do you feel that it's just a case of, look, if he gets help, he'll probably still get those numbers and elevate the Spurs even further?
Well, the former. I think give him a little bit more help. Now, if you look at the wins and losses, his numbers are consistent across the board.
Yeah.
All right, consistent across the board. You give him a little bit more help, he's going to do his thing. And remember, he's doing all this and he's not hurting the team by turning the ball over. Imagine this, 58 assists with only 7 turnovers. I mean, this is like the opposite of what the Lakers are getting with Russell Westbrook. All right, I'm sorry I had to bring it back. That's how frustrated I am with Russell Westbrook on the Lakers. I'm sorry.